put your cash that you're saving up for land on a down payment for a house. You can get 10 times as much house, and it'll be below what you're renting now. And we're like, yeah, we agree with you. We're not stupid. Hey guys, so today we have just been encouraged by the Lord from the whole story of Elijah. I think a lot of people are in fear of political reprisal, in fear of what's coming next, fear. And so Elijah was so afraid of political reprisal from the king who he had spoken against that he went and hid in a cave far away. He ran away, he lost heart, and he went and hid. And so the Lord appeared in the cave and said to him, Elijah, what are you doing? What are you doing, Elijah? And Elijah was like, Lord, there's no one left but me. They've killed everyone. They've killed your servants. I'm the only one left. They've torn down your altar. Lord, they're killing everyone out there. And which obviously wasn't true. That was just his fears, because the Lord said to him, like, Elijah, I've got 7,000 other dudes who haven't bowed their knee to Baal. Go back out there. Go back on your way. Get back on your way. Get back to doing what I have made you to do. Go back. Stop being afraid. I am with you. Be not afraid. Be of good courage, for I'm with you. Go do what I've made you to do. And for us, like, man, like, that's such a great parallel. You know, I think a lot of people are just petrified of what's to come. And it's like, guys, live with a clean conscience. Like, how do you know that you're doing God's will? Live with a clean conscience. Speak the truth, right? When we don't speak the truth, our conscience goes off, right? It's like, oh man, my conscience, I'm going off the way, right? A clean conscience is how you know you're on God's way, right? When you read the Bible and he says something like the borrower is slave to the lender, like, now you're updating your conscience, right? You're like, wow, do I want to be a slave? No, because God says throw off the yoke of slavery. Do not return to bondage. Do not return, like, throw everything off that hinders you, that you may live in liberty. And so it's like, okay, now my conscience is updating. So for us, we went to our accountant yesterday to get some tax advice, and they said to us, like, hey man, stop renting, put your cash that you're saving up for land on a down payment for a house. You can get 10 times as much house, and it'll be below what you're renting now. And we were like, yeah, we agree with you. We're not stupid.
That's very logical.
Very logical. And it's like,
and it's very tempting.
And it's very tempting. And it's like, that's where being a Christian is very hard. We're not just going to call ourselves Christians, we're actually going to do Christian stuff. Are you going to follow the way that Christ has outlined? And so for us, don't be a slave to debt. Don't
put yourself in
bondage. And if God says in Deuteronomy 28, I'll make you the lender and not the borrower, I will give you land, I will bless you that you will be fruitful. It's like, okay, God said it, I believe it. Like, I'm not going to go into debt to buy land. Like, that's me reaching in my own strength because I don't trust God. Like, no, God's not going to provide for me, so I'm going to go to the bank. Or no, God's not going to provide for me, so I'm going to go to my rich friend and ask him for help. Those are not sins. It's not a sin. Like, we had a loan. Like, we've done
and we
this
don't
whole thing.
condemn anyone who does that.
We had credit card debt, we had student debt, we had a land mortgage. We've done all the stuff. I was trying to buy a sweet Jaguar on credit. We've done the stuff. But like, we're getting to the place now where it's like, oh my gosh, God said, and now do I believe? Will I do? Will I follow? And it's hard. It's a hard life to live with a clean conscience. But the more you try and do it, the more God shows up. The more God does crazy stuff. The more amazing stories you have. The more discomfort you have by following your clean conscience, the more comfort God comes and ministers to you. And so we just want to encourage you guys to really start believing God to honor your clean conscience. If you live with a clean conscience, God will honor you. There's always a reward for obedience. So bless you guys. Amen.